Xilinx is a leader. Xilinx is a leader in the adaptive computing. Uh, we launched 2 years back. We launched a very innovative um, platform called FPGA as a service on Amazon, what we now call as the F1 instance. And we are number one in as FPGA as a service on the Amazon cloud right now. We are also one of the first, actually world's first radio deployment in 5G wireless happened with the Xilinx chip on it. So we are very proud of that. Significant market share that Xilinx has in the automotive domain. We have millions of units that has been shipped in automotive products, ranging across several types of products within the automotive domain, from infotainment to driver assistance and different types of end equipment. We have been and we continue to be number one in aerospace and defense from the FPGA perspective, spanning across several segments within aerospace and defense. Significant market share in IIoT vision segment, focused towards smart cameras, application related to surveillance kind of application where we have been present significantly. And also we are number one in the test measurement market from the logic IC perspective. We have significant market share in large EDA and test measurement equipment companies. We have a huge track record for innovation. Innovation has been in the blood of Xilinx from day one when we launched our first FPGA in 1984. Since then, there has been multiple milestones where we have launched products. We launched our first high-end FPGA, high-capacity high-end FPGA in '99. We launched our integrated SerDes device in 2001. In 2012, we launched our first 3D FPGA, which is coming from a family called Zinc, which is our first SoC family. In 2017, we upped our game from 28 nanometer to 16 nanometer SoC, which we call as the Zinc MP-SoC. Most of you are aware of this chipset. And we also, at the same time, we launched our first RF SoC, which is high-speed data integrated data converter integrated device, which has been in the market today and has significant market share in wireless and defense segment. In 2018, we got into the cards business, or what we basically call as the accelerator card business, with our new product called Alveo. This has been today a very significant, one of the player in the data center market. This has been used in several markets within the data center, ranging from genomics to fintech and several other markets. 2019, we launched our first 7 nanometer platform called Versal. Versal is focused towards a breakthrough technology, which we call as the adaptive compute acceleration platform. We have several industry firsts that is coming out with Versal, including, we actually have a brand new routing platform called NOC. And we also have AI engine, which is something that you're going to hear in the upcoming slides also, which is part of the Versal portfolio. And few days back, less than a month back, actually, we launched our first system on module, which is also targeted towards industrial segment. Along with the hardware, Xilinx has also continued the pace on the software innovation. Most of you are aware of ISE and Vivado, which has been there for the IDE in terms of the software platform that you use for Xilinx chipsets. We have our HLX, which includes HLS, which is the high-level synthesis, which can accept C, C++, OpenCL as some of the high-level abstraction languages for programming our chipsets. And recently, we also launched our unified software platform called Vitis. Some of you are aware of the Vitis and Vitis AI. Vitis AI is part of the Vitis platform, which is targeted towards machine learning application. So we have kept pace our software in line with our hardware innovation. We continue to innovate in this on both the segments. So with this innovation, our customers are very widespread and diverse. You see, some of the segments that are mentioned here. Our customers are there in aerospace, Pro AV broadcast, automotive, consumer segment. We have huge market in consumer segment today, and data center is our upcoming market. We have variety of applications and solutions that are targeted towards data center, including some of the cloud services that are needed for vision applications. On the edge, primarily industrial and edge vision. We have a huge market share here, and KV from our industrial business unit is going to talk more about this in the upcoming slides. Healthcare and sciences. We are proud to inform that during this pandemic, Xilinx has been a contributor to this to supporting the medical industry in helping them with the innovative solutions for COVID detection, and to some extent helping in a cure of that. Test measurement emulation, as I already mentioned, we have several large, well-known equipment manufacturers that you probably might be using Xilinx inside their own products. Wired and wireless, we are there in the smart city from the router perspective, but we are also there on 4G and 5G radios today. 5G is significantly picking up today for us, and we are proud to be being a significant part of the 5G business. Specifically for the machine learning and AI, we have different types of solutions. We have SOMs that are coming out from companies like iWave and Xilinx. iWave has several SOMs that are available built on our Xilinx chipsets. And on the edge side, iWave also has gateways, the one that they're going to talk about today, which are targeted specifically towards smart city. And we have some solutions on cloud where you want to take all the edge data towards the backend and process even more, and have larger set of processing done. We do have cloud solutions which are built on our Alveo products. So all of these are targeted towards smart city, and specifically the first and second one are targeted towards edge applications. I think with that, let me get into the crux of the session. So this is the session enabling AI and analytics on the edge. Let me first introduce KV. KV Bhaskar, he is our IIoT and AI solutions architect based out of Xilinx US office. He is going to take us through some of the Xilinx solutions and technological innovations that we have been doing for industrial, specifically towards edge. Followed by that, we have Tawfiq Ahmed from iWave. He's leading the product marketing for IoT and telematics. He's going to share the main content of the seminar, which is webinar, which is basically the Corazon AI, one of our main products. And he'll also talk about use case studies, several of them targeted towards the edge applications. With that, let me hand it over to KV, and KV, please take the floor and let us take you through your slides.
Perfect. Rohit, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Rohit, for the wonderful introduction, and thank you everyone for attending this session, and good evening. With that, let's just quickly get started. I want to start by talking about Xilinx's mission, right, which is building the adaptable, intelligent world. And I'm part of the team which focuses on industrial vision, healthcare, and sciences application. So what this really means for us is building intelligent factories and hospitals. So let's look at some of the application areas we have been working on. Yeah. So we work on industrial applications all the way starting from drives, motor control, PLCs, smart sensors, operator panels, all the way to more complicated systems like robotics, trains and railways, video surveillance systems, machine vision systems, smart grid, and 3D printing. The key thing to note here is our commonality among all of these applications is that these are all applications that need high reliability and determinism, which Xilinx is able to provide. Slide. So here again, just a collection of our healthcare applications. The top row here shows the core applications that we have been working on in the healthcare space, like surgical robots, endoscopy, imaging equipment, radio therapy, and ultrasound. The bottom row, we have been working on these application areas in the last few years. And this is mainly because of the Zinc Ultra Scale Plus MPSoC family and the emerging trends in the healthcare IoT industry that we have been seeing over the last few years. So what is this trend? Let's start looking at what is causing or driving this. So as you would have heard in many sessions, data explosion, right, is the key contributor. And we are seeing the same trend in both industrial and healthcare IoT. And just to give you some examples or frame for setting context, there's about 2.5 exabytes of data being created every year. 90% of world's data was created in the last 2 years. Over 60 octabytes in 2019 will be used towards AI. So this data is actually helping IoT devices realize more benefits. And some examples of that is, if you look at now we are able to do predictive maintenance. And what this does for us is it helps supply chain and production lines minimize their downtime. And also, since we are now connected and able to look at the assets individually, we are able to do analytics on them and draw deeper insights to continuously improve your productivity. And the last example I want to show here is connectivity. Now that these systems are actually connected, we are able to diagnose them from remote locations, as well as we are able to constantly update them by applying over-the-air updates. So with this data, there's also unintended consequences, right? So let me walk you through some of the key concerns that we have heard from customers and how we are addressing that, right? So first one, of course, is privacy is number one concern. The second one is security, but not just security today, but how do I keep my system secure over time, right? Over the lifetime of that product. The next one is latency and responsiveness. That is impacting safety. Again, if you're generating large amounts of data, you're going to take time to consume them. But then if you want to react fast for functional safety standards, how do you get there? Right? The next concern is cost of data management. Now you're creating large data, you need to transfer it, you need to store it, and you need to process it. That's adding to the cost of managing this data. So how do we address that concern? And the last one is lack of reliable internet connection. So it's all good if I'm connected and everything is working, but what happens if my connectivity drops, right? So these are the concerns. And let's start by looking at why edge compute and how we can address these concerns. So if you look at the left part of this diagram, we basically say the physics of the device dictates where my local app is deployed, right? Say there's two locations, location A and B, right? And they're far apart. If I'm transferring data from A to B, and then I'm expecting a response from B, it's going to take 30 milliseconds in this example, right? But if you're doing an industrial control system or a healthcare control system, which has a requirement of 10 milliseconds, this is physically impossible, right? So if you look at the right side of the diagram, you will see data gravity and data inertia. What this basically means is if I'm generating large amounts of data at the edge, I want to compute it at the edge. If I'm generating large amounts of data in the cloud, I want to compute it at the cloud. And the reason is we did an estimation using the AWS estimator tool, where we basically said there's a power plant at the edge generating data. We are going to transfer it to the cloud, store it, process it there. And just for the storage and transferring, you end up with a $13,000 bill, right? So it's better to compute things where it's generated. Again, this is not to say that we are competing with the cloud. It's more we are able to work with the cloud and help customer distribute their application between edge and the cloud. Next slide, please. Yeah. So again, I've been talking about the trends and how we see it. So how are our customers seeing this, right? So again, in the past, we have been seen as a companionship. That's been the traditional role of Xilinx FPGAs, where we have been used for custom IO or IO expansion. We have been used for industrial communication like DSN, EtherCAT, and so forth. But then with the introduction of our SoC, we are able to integrate many more blocks into our system. So for example, if you take one of our SoCs, there is going to be a security processor for implementing cybersecurity standards. There's going to be a safety processor for meeting functional safety requirements. We also have general purpose processors like A53s for application processing. We also have R5s for real-time processing. We also have ARM Mali GPU on some of our SoCs that is used for 2D, 3D rendering and primarily used for HMI applications, right? And this is not just in terms of what we see, but it's actually reflected in our revenue also. So if you look at the graph that's going to come up, you'll see over the last 10 years, from 2010 to 2020, we have actually had a steady growth in revenue. And this actually maps really well to the SoCs, right? So we see that the sales of the SoCs have been more than the sales of our FPGAs. And that trend is, again, just been growing steadily. And we are seeing a growth of about 2.5x. Next slide, please. Okay. So with all of that background out of the way, I want to talk about how does Xilinx approach this data explosion? How do we tame it, right? So there are three main approaches. The first one is the industrial and healthcare IoT solution stack. What this means is we have worked with Xilinx as well as ecosystem to create offerings that target edge applications and edge devices. The second one is industrial PC acceleration. So many industrial and healthcare applications have PCs in the backend, and these PCs have PCIe slots where our accelerator cards can fit in. And what these accelerator cards can do is they can offload your high computation tasks onto them and basically overall accelerate the application. The third approach, like I mentioned earlier, is we have a way to cooperate and collaborate with edge and cloud. So irrespective of where you choose to do things, say you want to do things at the edge or the cloud, Xilinx will be there and we can address your needs at different portions of the network. Okay, so what is the solution stack, right? So this is actually a recognition by Xilinx that industrial and healthcare customers need more than just the silicon, right? So they need things from the stack, which basically means you have the silicon at the bottommost layer of the stack, but then your end use case is application, and there's multiple middle layers, right? What we have done here is, say if you take functional safety and cybersecurity or edge AI, we have actually invested, developed, and worked with partners to create a lot of different solutions, which includes collaterals like reference designs, webinars, getting started guides, and so forth. So customers don't have to spend time on these core building blocks. Rather, they can focus on their application and their differentiation, and Xilinx brings these solutions to them. Next slide, please. So moving on to the industrial PC acceleration, and as Rohit had earlier mentioned, we had released this 2 years ago. This was the first Xilinx off-the-shelf production-ready deployment-ready board, right? It is again mainly for offloading high-performance applications, both in the cloud, but as well as on-premise inside, say, a factory floor or in the field. In terms of performance, it is able to perform 90x over CPUs for workloads like machine learning, inference, video transcoding, database search and analytics. But the interesting thing of these Alveo cards is that it is still built on Xilinx technology, right? So it can adapt to your growing needs and changing needs. So it is still built on FPGA in the back, right? So you still can adapt this to your needs. And one of the interesting things that we have done along with this product is we have actually also launched an app store for Alveo. So what this means is in the App Store, you will find a lot of different apps for different workloads, both contributed by Xilinx and our partners. So immediately you can download those apps onto this board, try it out. And then if you like them, if it's Xilinx, it's open source. If it's partner, the partner might decide to charge a fee, but then it really jumpstarts your development. Next slide, please. So the next slide talks about the collaboration with cloud providers. So if you see the graphic here, you have sent your basically your AI inference to the cloud, which basically means you are faced with now high data transmission as well as high latency, right? But then you can, if you bring it down to the edge, you're going to be seeing lesser data transferred and lower latency. And then you can also now send the metadata back to the cloud for larger analytics, but now you're not sending the raw data versus you're sending the process data. The key thing to note here is that, again, I mentioned the beginning, reliable connection, right? Say the connection to the outside world is gone, right? Because of us working with cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and IBM Watson, we are still able to preserve the infrastructure and connectivity within the network. So in your factory floor, as an example, everything will work as intended, especially all the core functionality, even if the connection to the outside world is not there anymore. Okay, so I'm at the last slide of my section. So again, what do industrial and healthcare customers need when they are building their application are represented these bubbles. So some customers need industrial life cycles, so 10 plus years of supply. Some need reliability, quality, security, low power, low temperature. And then some industrial customers need real-time deterministic control and ability to interface to multiple peripherals. And then there is also a growing need for AI latency and performance, right? So the bottom two bubbles are Xilinx's strengths. Rohit, if you can hit the animations. Yeah, the bottom two bubbles have been traditional strengths for Xilinx. And the AI portion has become a growing strength, mainly after the introduction of our deep learning processing unit, right? And again, if you look at the industry and all the competition, we strongly believe Xilinx is at the sweet spot where it can address all of these different industrial requirements today. And one of the things that we are doing, or we've seen in the past, is when we talk about Xilinx, there is a learning curve. And with the introduction of tools like Vitess, which is a unified tool, we are now able to address software developers and AI developers to also target Xilinx devices, not just people who are experts on hardware. With that, I would conclude my slides. I'm going to pass it on to Taufik, who's going to be showing how these Xilinx values are realized in Corazon AI platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KV. It was a really interesting session. Let me hand over the presentation to Taufik. Taufik, floor is yours. Please go ahead and get started. In the meantime, there are questions on the screen. I'm hoping that we are responding to that. If there are, I would request all the participants to feel free and ask questions on the chat window. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rohit. So just wanted to confirm if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Sure. So thanks, KV, for the wonderful introduction on the focus of Xilinx on the industrial space and the data explosion on the edge. So good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. So to give you a brief background about iWave before we get started on Corazon AI, the platform, the crux of the webinar. So iWave was established in the year 1999 with a focus on being an engineering services company, primarily with a strategic focus on industrial, medical, automotive, avionics, and defense. Over the last 10 years is where we became more product-centric and are now focused on system on modules and embedded computing platforms. iWave became an alliance partner of Xilinx in the year 2001. So we have close to 20 years of experience in FPGA-based solution design and development. And in terms of FPGA expertise, in terms of hardware design and development, IP cores, RTL, and customization on the software and porting is where iWave plays a key role and helps customers realize their end industrial medical products on Xilinx SoCs. So we are headquartered in Bangalore and with a global sales footprint. So iWave is driven by the mission to be a reliable technology partner to companies across the globe. And we help companies from product ideation, specification analysis, product design, all the way to manufacturing. Now diving a bit deeper into our system on modules portfolio. So why system on modules? So we understand that the system on module helps customers and helps adapt the Xilinx technology to their traditional products and also helps traditional customers be in line with the advancements happening on the FPGA technology. With this system on modules, iWave takes care of the signal integrity, the power integrity, and power sequencing. With FPGA-based design involving high-speed DDR memory or in terms of the thermal management, iWave ensures that all of this is taken care on the system on modules. So customers can then focus on their core differentiation and their core value proposition and shorten their development time of products by around 9 months. The iWave portfolio of system on modules provides the scalability ranging from ZU4 all the way to ZU19 and ensures the right fit for the right application, be it medical imaging or in terms of the industrial data centers or LiDAR radar. You can choose the right SoC for the right application. And these system on modules are also complemented with a well-established software ecosystem and support provided by iWave. So if you read QNX, VxWorks, or Linux, the corresponding software customization is taken care by iWave, helping you get to market with your product faster. And it is not only the system on module which iWave does, but we also help customers in reviewing their product schematic, their Gerber files, helping them make sure that their product stays in the field and ensures a rugged product. Now, going a bit deeper, as KV mentioned, a lot of the data moving from the server to the edge. So why did we realize that there's a gap in edge AI solutions? So there was a need of data, the embedded computing and accelerated computing moving from the server to the edge. One is in terms of latency. So you're looking at real-time decisions happening on the edge with no latency between the device and the cloud servers, and in terms of data privacy. So the moment you have data escaping the gateway and connecting to a server, you know that they're always vulnerable to attacks. And right now, companies are more focused on the software in terms of algorithm, building more software as a service, and building more smart city-based solutions. So are there industrial production-grade devices available in the market? And looking at the time and design complexity, should software startups be focused on the hardware as well? So these are the 3 key points which iWave looked into and found that there is a gap in terms of a production-ready, industrial-grade edge AI solution. So to fill in this gap, iWave built Corazon AI. So Corazon, what is called as heart in Spanish. So we basically branded this Corazon AI as the heart of your edge AI solution. So the first key feature of Corazon AI is in terms of the camera connectivity. So Corazon AI is built on the Xilinx UltraScale Plus MP-SoC. And with the UltraScale Plus MP-SoC providing for 8 H.264, H.265 hard engine, you are able to connect 8 IP cameras in parallel, enabling you to build your video analytics or image analytics based AI application on the edge. And these are not only IP cameras. So you have the support for USB cameras, an HDI camera, or a LiDAR camera. So for applications such as your LiDAR, radar, and for your ADAS applications, Corazon AI is still a perfect fit. And when you're looking at an edge AI solution, definitely there is the question of connectivity. So there is the multiple options of connectivity available on Corazon AI. It can be Ethernet, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or the cellular connectivity ranging from 3G all the way to the upcoming 5G technology. And when you talk about AI, definitely the first word that comes to many minds is neural network. So Corazon AI supports multiple CNNs simultaneously on the edge. So what does this mean? So if you have an application where you have two cameras, one camera required to have face detection at the entry exit of, say, a metro station, and one camera required to do object detection in a secluded area. So you can run multiple different applications on multiple different channels simultaneously. And last but not the least is the performance on savings in terms of your time to market, in terms of your porting effort, and in terms of power efficiency. So bridging the gap for the edge AI solution is where iWave introduced Corazon AI. So what exactly is there on the platform? So the heart of the device is the Zinc UltraScale plus MP SoC, which provides for the heterogeneous ARM plus FPGA architecture, having the A53, the R5, the ARM Mali GPU. Now, complementing this MP SoC, iWave has integrated multiple peripherals like the DDR4, ranging from 1 GB, 2 GB, and the 8 GB eMMC flash, which can be expanded all the way to 256 GB. And Corazon AI is also fit with multiple industrial interfaces, such as Gigabit Ethernet to USB 3.2 interfaces, the Wi-Fi connectivity, and a 4K DisplayPort connectivity. And the most important is in terms of the M.2 key connector. So this can double up as an SSD SATA port, which can extend your storage all the way to 2 TB. Or you also have your add-on M.2 based 4G, 5G cellular modules, which you can plug in to make Corazon AI cellular compatible. And you have the I.O expansion connector available. So all the unused FPGA IOs are brought out to this connector, which will help you configure it as per your requirement. Now the different SoC options available on Corazon AI. So you have the range all the way from 2 CG all the way to 7 EV. And this primarily differs in terms of the tera operations per second and the performance in terms of the logic cells available. So for example, if you have a camera support required for 8 IP cameras or multiple 4 IP cameras, you need to go for a 4 EV, a 5 EV approach. And if you require a much higher tera operations per second, where you require a multiple PL resource required to put in maybe say 24096 based deep learning processing units, you will have to go for the 7 EV option. So the scalability provided on the single SKU of Corazon AI ensures that be it a low bandwidth application or a high performance application, you are able to scale up all the way from 2 CG all the way to 7 EV, dependent on the end application. And definitely in terms of the connectivity, the display, the onboard storage. So that is a standard feature with the processing power and the AI performance differing across the series. Now looking at the AI inference engine available on Corazon AI. So the deep learning processor unit goes all the way from a 1152 block all the way to a 4096 block on the 5EV. And how does this stand apart? So in the traditional CPU plus GPU based approach, you have the CPU taking care of the pre-processing and the CPU taking care of the post-processing, and the AI inference and the scaling is taken care of the GPU. So there is some sort of mismatch in the throughput leading to an inference latency. What we establish on Corazon AI or on the MP SoC is the pre-processing, the AI inference, the hardware scaling as per the CNN network resolution, and the post-processing is all taken care of on the FPGA block. So this ensures a much higher throughput and a higher performance. And what it stands apart is the processing functionality can be customized on the base logic level. So with this integrated AI inference on Corazon AI, you are guaranteed a higher performance in terms of your video encoding or your video decoding or your corresponding AI application. So this is the software stack supported on Corazon AI. So what I want to convey through this slide is that we are not primarily a hardware supplier with just the basic DSP. So we have integrated the complete different packages required on the PetaLinux layer, the application stack to bridge the models and the PetaLinux layer, and in terms of integrating different frameworks. So you might be using PyTorch, you might be using TensorFlow or Caffe for your AI application. So we have made all of these compatible on Corazon AI, ensuring that for you to port your AI application, it is very minimal porting effort required. And in terms of integrating multiple open source packages required to run your model or your framework, iWave takes the responsibility to integrate these open source packages, which I will mention in the next few slides. This is just an expansion of the previous slide. So iWave takes care of the complete WITC AI stack integration, building the PetaLinux layer, and integrating the pre-optimized models onto the platform. So in terms of, it can be your SSD or your YOLO V2, V3. So integrating the different WITC AI stacks onto the Corazon AI platform. So right now, Corazon AI, we are working with multiple customers dependent on, like, for example, the telemedicine right now, the radio, the CT segmentation, in terms of social distancing, video surveillance. So we're working with multiple customers who have used the different types of models. For example, your face detection, object detection, the lane detection. So these are only a few of the models which are available on Corazon AI. And the complete WITC AI 1.3 is integrated on Corazon AI to make sure that it's available for you to build the complete solution. And in terms of neural networks, so all the way ranging from your SSD pedestrian to YOLO V2, V3 to ResNet 50, ResNet 18, we make sure that all neural networks, or a majority of them, are pre-supported on Corazon AI to enabling you to build your AI application. And the tools provided by Xilinx, such as the WITC AI 1.3, the WITC AI library, or the DPU tools, are taken care by iWave for the corresponding porting on Corazon AI. So you need not worry on the porting or the hardware FPGA knowledge required. And in terms of frameworks, as I previously mentioned, all the frameworks are available on Corazon AI. So you can get started immediately on your AI solution. Now, as I mentioned before, in terms of the open source packages, so the integrated packages, for example, like a NumPy, which is used for adding support for multi-dimensional arrays and matrices, or your GStreamer, which is necessary for a pipeline-based multimedia framework, or OpenCV, which you might be aware is the real-time optimized computer vision library. So these are packages which iWave has pre-integrated on Corazon AI to make your work easier on building your AI solution and porting the right model for the end application. And in terms of cloud connectivity, definitely there might be some events or some sort of logic required for you to communicate to the IBM Watson, the Microsoft Azure, or the AWS server. So for this, the corresponding MQTT and HTTP based cloud integration has been integrated into the BSPs. So for you, it is a ready to use platform. And last but not the least is in terms of the compatibility with the automotive standard, for example, the J1939, where you need to talk to your industrial vehicles, industrial machines, or some sort of industrial vehicles with this J1939 output, or your robotic ROS standards. So we make sure that the Corazon AI is in sync with these development standards, helping you in integrating it with the industrial applications. So customize your AI module with Corazon AI with the WITC AI stack. So what this means, what I want to convey through this slide is that you need not know hardware and FPGA knowledge required to get started on Corazon AI. So you can use your preferred AI framework. You can use your pre-built customization, your pre-built models, and with very minimal porting effort, you can get started with Corazon AI for your end solution. And to just highlight once again the features of Corazon AI. So it is built on the Ultragenyous ARM plus FPGA architecture on the Xilinx UltraScale plus MPSoC, which supports the wide range of frameworks and AI models and the corresponding neural networks and frameworks necessary. And a key feature of Corazon AI is the multiple camera support and the configurable AI engine available on the device. And last but not the least is where we try to bridge the gap. Is this is completely production ready and industrial grade device with longevity for 5 to 10 years at a minimum. So looking at, let me just go a bit deeper into a case study. So Corazon AI and people analytics. So definitely we have tied up with one such company called Macarena Labs in Italy, where they have ported their face recognition, the people counting, the heat mapping, or for example, in today's time where mask detection and social distancing is one of a key area for multiple regions. It can be a retail outlet or your airport, or it can be even be a factory. So which is where we worked along with MK Labs to port these applications, helping them utilize the parallel architecture available on Corazon AI, providing real-time intelligence and accurate output. And with the connectivity to multiple cameras, you are able to reduce your infrastructure cost. So for 8 cameras, you do not require 8 different Corazon AI. So you can connect multiple cameras, reducing your capital investment and also reducing your dependency on the server. Another key application of Corazon AI is in the intelligent traffic management. So when you look at smart cities, definitely there's no smart city without a smart traffic management. So different AI applications such as your vehicle classification, the automated number plate recognition, the vehicle counting, or the axle counting, for example, in a toll. So which is where we utilize the integrated DPU and AI inference engine with the cloud server communication integrated. So right now, if you look at the toll for an example, you have the data all sitting on the server with the complete intelligence running on the server. The cameras are more of just taking the image and passing it on to the server. But what you can do is make it an intelligent toll by connecting one Corazon AI to the multiple cameras and running the different sort of algorithms on the camera at the edge level to take the decision required on the edge. So this enables, for example, it need not be toll, but for example, your smart parking or your police-based surveillance or your speed monitoring, or in terms of your automated billing for your tolls, or in terms of our restricted entry-exit application. So Corazon AI can be a right fit for your intelligent traffic management solution. So apart from the people analytics solution and the traffic management solution, what I just touched upon, there are a lot of AI ML solutions where we are tailoring our Corazon AI to. So first is in terms of retail analytics. So retail analytics is a key area where there is a wealth of data available, and it is up to the retail outlets and your retail companies to utilize this data to generate operational efficiency and greater revenues. One simple example can be in terms of marketing campaigns to the visitors in the store, or identifying the behavior of the visitor to identify where he is spending more time, so which shelves, which aisles, and utilizing this data in terms of shelf placement or in terms of your inventory management. So retail analytics is a key area where there is a lot of potential in terms of video imaging and image-based analytics. Now coming next to sorting applications. So industrial sorting has been a trend for the last few years, where automated sorting based on sensor analytics or based on images, ensuring higher throughput and high operational efficiency without manual intervention. So, and industries across verticals, it can be your vegetables or it can be in terms of pharmaceutical, sorting is required at the end of every supply chain. And looking at the connected mobility in terms of your automated driving across the different levels, there's always the need for the car to look around the scenarios and for the car to talk to multiple different infrastructure. It can maybe the car talking to your traffic signal or the car identifying the lanes. So the Corazon AI with the capability to connect to the LiDAR and the radar sensors can be a fit for your ADAS application as well. Now, after touching upon the AI/ML capabilities on Corazon AI, there are a few key applications where Corazon AI can serve without the AI stack as well. For example, you can use it as a video recorder in your avionics, or in terms of your HDMI storage recorder, or as a 12G SDI recorder for your industrial applications. So the Corazon AI can also develop as a video recorder for important recording scenarios. Now we have integrated the Disti, the GL Studio from Disti onto Corazon AI. So what this helps you build a rich 3D visualization solution or a rich graphical user interface, helping you with a high performance, a high flexibility based HMI solution for your industrial application. And third is in terms of a smart relay or a smart grid. It's where you need a very high instantaneous switching capability. For example, if there is a cut in the wire, before the wire touches the ground, the complete transmission has to be shut down. So previously, this was done on an ARM plus a DSP-based architecture, which is now transitioning towards the FPGA-centric approach, which guarantees higher programmable logic for sensors and different interfaces. So how do you get started with Corazon AI? So what we do at iWave is we have a ready evaluation kit for you, which includes the ZU5 EV-based platform, which integrates necessary connectors and has the M.2 slot for you to upgrade to the storage or in terms of your cellular connectivity. And this evaluation kit is pre-integrated with the PetaLinux package with the Linux kernel and the Vitis AI stack integrated. And enabled with the accessories, it can be your power adapter. And in case if you require the enclosure or your heat sink, dependent on the end application, we make sure that you're enabled with all the resources, be it the quick start guide, the hardware user manual, the software user manual. We enable you to get started with Corazon AI with no time. So thanks for your time. So now we have some time for Q&A. So please, in case you have any questions related to Corazon AI, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Taufeeq. Very interesting session. Let me take a minute to summarize, all that you mentioned. Just a very quick summary. You did touch base upon iWave, its competencies and the services that you provide, and also some of the customized activities that you do on machine learning. You talked about the different SOM modules, system on modules that iWave supports, ranging from all the way from the lowest SOMs that you have on the Zinc 7000 family, all the way to highest end devices in MPSoC, what we call as the Zinc MPSoC family. So there are a variety of products in between. And after that, you also talked about the Corazon AI, which is the main heart of the presentation, just like it's also called as heart in Spanish, which is focused towards the edge applications. You highlighted all the features of the Corazon AI, talked about different applications, use cases, and deliverables from iWave for Corazon AI as a product. It's a very interesting product. It reduces your cycle time from, let's say, you need to select the device, select the hardware, build the base software, and then deploy your application to straight away, pick a product like Corazon AI and deploy your application right on top of a very matured ecosystem that is built, and focus on your application rather than spending time in reinventing the wheel. So we do have some questions. I do see several questions on the chat window. Taufeeq, let me know if you would like to take any of those questions. We have seen some of the answers already given by our panelists. If you are willing to take any of one of those questions, do let me know, and I can pause for a minute, before we conclude and give vote of thanks.
Yes, Rohit, I think Sheikh and team has answered the questions what I see in the chat, so I think we can go ahead.
Right. I do see few questions. What we will do is, I think we are going to respond to most of these, but on the pricing of the kit, the Corazon AI, we would get back to you on the email. Do you have any indications or any information that you would like to share on your overall iWave product portfolio in terms of where you position in the market, Taufik?
Yes, Rohit. So in terms of iWave, so what we our core specialty in terms of the different embedded computing platforms available, especially across the Xilinx MP-SOC series, and we ensure that it is production ready. And when we say we are focused on the industrial, automotive, and medical, so iWave takes care of the product longevity. So in terms of utilizing the chips available or in terms of the interface components, we make sure and ensure a product longevity of 7 to 10 years and ensure that it is rugged and helping you in terms of the different installation environments. So, and in terms of the extensive customization support required for customers to build their product. So that is where iWave tries to position itself.
Right, understand. Thanks for sharing that. I also want to bring up, the typical comparison that is being made here. NVIDIA Xavier. It's probably not the right comparison on the edge side. But what we will do is we will share in the presentation. We are going to share some benchmarks if we can when we are sending it out. To all the participants. Right. Let me see. I'm just taking a minute to see if we have any other interesting questions that we can quickly answer.
Rohit,
yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
just wanted to highlight a couple of questions. So there is one question on the TeraOps, 1.4 TeraOps on Xilinx platform. So I just wanted to say that, we have a very scalable platform, right from the Zinc ZU2 device, which is around 576 gigaops, right up to the largest device, that's a ZU7 EV platform that Taufik was talking about, that can go up to 3.5 teraops. Now remember that this is all on Int 8 platform. I just want to let you know that Xilinx is also working on Int 4. We're focusing a lot on that aspect as well. So with the same device, we can even go 1.5x to 2x the performance, again, without having to change the hardware platform. But of course, that still doesn't maybe scale up to the level of, say, a Xavier NX device. So there's always the option for the customer to go higher in the device range. So you can even scale up to ZU9 and ZU11, which can go up to 5.5 teraops or 6.8 teraops on the largest device. So that scalability factor is always there with our devices.
Right. Thank you, Aditya. Any other questions that you would like to answer?
One more thing, Taufik, regarding 7 EV platform, right? Would you like to mention that for 7 EV device, Gen 2 Corazon AI is going to launch soon?
Yes, Pish, that's a very interesting point. So the Corazon AI is more like a brand name of the edge AI solutions available at iWave. So we have the single board computer which doubles up as Corazon AI embedded with the AI stack that ranges from the ZU2 to ZU5. And we have the Corazon AI Gen 2, which is based on the 7 EV series. So as Aditya mentioned, the scalability is always there to customers dependent on the end requirement and the end application.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting questions. I don't know if we have time for a few more.
Taufik, can you please share the contact queries slide, the last slide, so that we would let customers take a snapshot of that, before we send those slides. I would request all the participants to, if you can, please take a snapshot of this, or at least record the email IDs or names. We will be sharing these slides shortly. You can contact your local representatives to collect these slides. But in the meantime, due to interest of time, it's pretty late in the evening for all of us, and we do have family time while we also are working from home. But I request all of you to, whoever feels that all the questions are not fully answered, I really humbly request you to send email to iWave or ExcelPoint or Xilinx, or all of them, depending on the query that you have. That would help respond to your queries at a faster pace. And just a quick housekeeping note, we will be sharing these slides with ExcelPoint team. You have contacted ExcelPoint team, or you might have contacted ExcelPoint team. All these contacts you can reach out for slides. We'll be giving it through the ExcelPoint team, so kindly stay in touch with them. Most of you will receive the slides within this week. We just might have to put it in a presentable way in a PDF file, and then we'll send it to you. Right. With that, I would like to thank Tawfiq from iWave, the presenter from iWave, and also KV Bhaskar from Xilinx US office for wonderful presentations talking about the technology from Xilinx and iWave, which is focused towards AI and analytics on the edge. We would like to wish you all a pleasant evening, and stay safe and stay healthy. Would like to reach out to you shortly. Please reach out to us if there are any questions further. All right, with that, we would like to end the session. Thank you so much for taking interest in Xilinx, iWave, and ExcelPoint and joining the webinar. Appreciate all your time. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.